Thank you, Karen, for having me on. And there's a lot as far as the journey I've been on through YouTube. I mean, I started in September of 2021, took your class back in 2020, was not camera shy by any means, but I had my own barriers that kept me from doing it for a whole year until I
Like
finally
what?
started. It was, and it's funny because I shared it in I don't have the screenshot. It's from your old Facebook group. But basically, I was sharing in that years ago is that I'm a perfectionist. So I'm like, I gotta, again, not camera shy, but wanting to be perfect with the delivery of my local knowledge. And also just wondering, is this the place that I want to talk about? Because I'm not the biggest fan of where I live, as crazy as it may sound. Things have changed. I've grown to love my place more now, especially being married with kids. And this is like the best place to raise a family, in my opinion, in the North Atlanta suburbs, Duluth, Gwinnett County, and so forth. But I think at that time I needed to reflect more and see what I valued more. And it was actually me going on a trip to Hawaii and then uh, did this whole West Coast tour with my wife. It was like LA, and then Reno, and then San Francisco, and then Reno. And I was like, you know what? Like this area's got its strengths, but and they don't have trees. Everything's expensive. It was during COVID. They actually had to, for the first time, demand my COVID vaccination card to get into a restaurant. I was like, wow, I heard this stuff on the news. I didn't think I would experience this in real time. And I was just like, there's just too many restrictions here. Yeah, the weather's great and it's diverse and there's great food. Well, we got the last two in here in Gwinnett County, Georgia. And the weather, well, at least we got 4 seasons, 4 full seasons. And everybody that comes here, they call me from my channel. That's one of the first things they say is like, Tim, we're trying to get away from this winter weather that is coming upon us. Like, I'll get calls now in August, and we're like, the winter's coming to, and I can't handle another winter. And they'll call and they'll move down. So yeah, it was kind of just like, and enough is enough. Just pull the trigger and start. And as time goes on, like you learn along the way, and then it's funny how I was always about wanting to be the perfectionist because it's crazy now, having now done YouTube for about 5 years. That's the last thing on my mind now. Like, I'm so ready to get the video out to share the information and let the algorithm take control of it that I don't even think about how I look. I've since hired, I don't know if you noticed on my channel the last 3 months, I've hired a YouTube coach who is full-blown marketer type of person. Like doesn't know anything about real estate. He is solely into marketing. So you can see the difference in the quality, the thumbnail, the titles. And one of the things he said, like, Tim, yeah, you just got to get the information out. Don't worry about how you look because there's one video where like I filmed and I didn't want to film it. It was like one of the first ones. I think it's like seven something like yeah, that never buy these one, I think was it. And the reason why I didn't want to film it is because I had pink eye that week. And
Oh,
I didn't want it to show up on the camera. And he's like, well, Tim, like you believe me, people aren't going to care about that. Then they're going to be so focused on the information that you give them. And he was right. And then funny thing is, I just had a closing yesterday and it was a person from Boston who saw that exact video, the never buy these types of homes in Atlanta. And so I was like, hey, if I didn't film it that week, I wouldn't have had a closing yesterday.
that's right. That's right. I know. I felt the same way. Some of my most watched videos are the ones where like I couldn't be bothered to do my hair. I didn't put on any makeup. It was July. I was sweaty and
Mhm.
shiny. Like the ones where I think, oh my God, I look like a hot mess. Those are the ones that get 100,000 views and you get the most clients from. So, yeah, nobody really cares. Like
Yeah.
if they noticed you had pink eye, they probably said something in the comments like, "Dude, your eye's all red. What's that all about?" Nobody says,
Yeah.
"Well, I can't hire you because you had pink eye." So
Right.
clearly you are not the agent for me. Like
Yeah.
we get all up in our heads over stuff that just really is not important.
There's even one video that I gave the wrong fact, like it was an incorrect fact.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, this is not going to do well. And then I got a call from somebody who wanted buyer representation from that video. So like every time I create the story in my head, the reality defies that. And yeah, is there room for improvement? Always. But then that's the whole point is you're on a journey of building a channel, seeing it grow, creating an online community that can then be people who you can legitimately help buy and sell in your market. And relocators are some of the funnest people to work with. I don't know about you, but like, because they really appreciate the information you share. Like locals,
Yes.
they know a lot of what you already know. But the relocators just like we don't know anything about Metro Atlanta, Tim. We're so happy we found your videos. So it's like, yeah, I feel like I'm providing a lot of value, and it's like, it's like the best way too because you're reaching the largest audience. And while you're sleeping at night, people are viewing it. And I told this, I actually so you inspired me to go out and try to teach a class. So I just did it last summer to like my brokerage, my local brokerage. And like I think like 15 people came out and it was like a like social media marketing 101 class.
Okay.
And like half of the class came because they just wanted to overcome camera shyness. And so I had to take a step back and teach the class about how to overcome that when I was already like ready to talk about like the technical like equipment and when to post and what to post and things like that. And I remember I gave the point, this very vivid point. I think it's true for all of us is like, okay, well, if you're going to get buyers, how would you normally do it old school? You would probably host a home buyer seminar, like a first time home buyer seminar. Who's going to come out? Maybe 10, 20, on maybe really good day, 30 people. So you're marketing to 30 people in a class for 3 hours where you have to physically be present. And it's just 30. Whereas I'm reaching an audience of like, I think I'm up to like 5,000 views every 48 hours on average now.
That's so
And so,
amazing.
yeah, it is. And so for me, I'm like, I would say this is like, yeah, this is definitely my number one form of business. So, I mean, and I'm preaching to the choir, but yeah, it's amazing.
It really is. And I love how you said working with people that are relocating from out of the area is such a fun segment of people to work with because they're just so excited about coming to the area and learning all about it. And you get to have a good time and play tourist with them, but also kind of be a teacher and be in education mode. I just closed a deal a couple days ago with somebody moving down here from the Philadelphia area. And she was so excited to buy a house that's 100 years old. And I was kind of like, do you know what you're getting into? Buying a house that's
Yeah,
100 years
yeah,
old. Like there's a lot. There is a lot of stuff that's going to need to be updated. The windows are still kind of that wavy glass, which look really cool, but that means that you're going to have higher heating and air conditioning costs.
right, right.
Okay with that. And she's so excited about it. And so it's a lot of fun. So when you first started your channel, you were kind of doing an all about living in Atlanta sort of theme. Was that it?
Yeah, yeah, just trying to cover the broad topics, the pros and cons of living in Atlanta, and that was like the hot topic back during COVID, and that was one
Right.
of the reasons why I did it. To answer that other question you had was like, why did I do it? I think a lot of agents started doing YouTube during COVID because they couldn't reach because of social
Right.
distancing their audience, and so that was like the next logical step to take. But through the videos, through that journey, so I'm half Korean, half white. And so my mom is the Korean, and I had a chance to live in Korea too as an English teacher right out of college. So I went to Auburn. It's like 2010, like Great Recession. I was like, oh man, jobs are not very plentiful. And then I don't really want to be here. I want to like adventure out of the country. And I was like, oh, perfect, perfect set of reasons to go out and live my life in Korea. And 1 year turned into two and then five. Loved it there. And then I came back. I was like, where do I live near home, but not getting out of the Southeast and having a large Korean presence in the midst of American culture? And I said Duluth, Georgia. It's
Mm.
the second most populated Korean community in the country. A lot of people don't know that. They're
Really?
shocked.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, I think it overtook New York recently. I don't know, but LA is number one. And it's amazing because I get, not to get ahead of myself, I just started making vlog tours. So of like the community. So I would just go around and I would talk about it. I would film it. I would just get like the store frontage signs and then just start talking about it. And
Were you
one of
doing it
them,
in Korean or were you talking in English?
I would introduce myself in Korean, and then the rest
Okay.
was in English.
Okay.
And didn't know if it was going to gain traction or not, but it took off and it went viral. It still gets organic views to this day. And it's like the Koreatown, I think it's the Duluth Koreatown vlog tour video from like 4 years ago. And the reason why I think it's gotten viral is because, like, for one, that topic was never done. And two, I think people were really searching. Like, yeah, you'll see there it is, Koreatown, Duluth, Georgia, where I'm throwing
Okay.
up their Korean version of their peace sign.
Wow. That's
Um,
awesome.
yeah, and
20,000 views, 4 years old.
yeah,
Not too shabby.
and it's still getting traction. And from that one video, I got like I'd say 50% of my business from YouTube from that, and all of them were Korean American clients or native Koreans.
So,
And
what kind of call to action did you have in that video? Do you recall?
I needed to work more on my call to action. I think I got lucky, but I think they just saw like, well, at the beginning, I was like, hey, if you want to work with me, I love to be able to introduce you to the Korea, the soul of the South is what we call it, and represent you on the home buying side, or whatever it is. And people were calling about it directly. In fact, right before this Zoom, I just got a call from a guy who saw this video. So it's just so funny how things work. And then funny thing is he actually found me through my Zillow profile because I have a prominent profile on there. And here's a key if people are listening in. You can add your languages on Zillow. So if you don't just speak English, like say you speak Korean, add that as a language. And Zillow, sometimes there'll be Korean clients that want a Korean speaking agent to list their home, rent their home, or buy a home. And then they'll assign me that. And no, this is not Zillow Premier Agent. This is not Zillow Flex. This is an organic lead request through Zillow simply because of the language. And so he found that. And then he put two and two together. He's like, "Oh, you're the guy that I saw the videos." He didn't even realize. And then I was like, "Yeah, that's me." And so he's coming next week to tour Atlanta. He's from North Carolina, and him and his wife want to find a place for his family, Korean community. We've got one school here called Parsons Elementary, and it's the only Korean dual language program public school in all of Atlanta.
Wow.
So I did a few videos on that. People were calling off of that because so many people these days like are families that are moving. I mean, they're the ones that have the income to move and have a reason to move. So that kind of category of buyer pool are the ones calling me, and like it's great because like I've got kids. I got a 3-year old. I got a 4-month old. So I'm like riding those prime years as a parent, and it's like I'm helping others with similar stage life as me. So it's so fun to walk with them because I'll be like. So I moved to Swanee because of this reason and this reason, and I think this is what you would want to do too for your family. And so like they really kind of live vicariously through me. I'm like, oh, I'm one step ahead. So hey, I just take their hand and then they just come with me. So, and then so I was like, well, that video went viral. I need to do more. So I did one that was like top 4 Korean communities in Atlanta, and then like a vlog tour of the other 3 that I didn't cover at the beginning, and then now like I'm about to post one of just like sitting in a coffee. You're talking about like some of the like least prepared videos are sometimes the best ones. Like I was planning to just like record myself walking to a Korean coffee shop and just ordering something and then sit down and just share my story. Kind of like this. Just be like why did I choose Duluth, Georgia as my home? Well, here, I'll tell you why. And like people love it, and like I love to see the results. The comment section, like people were asking like, so what taekwondo like academy would you recommend? And like, do you know where I can get the best Korean barbecue and things like that? So it's really cool to see how even people from like Toronto, Canada, Vancouver, Canada, even South Korea, they call me from the channel. It's
Wow.
incredible.
That's so amazing. So let me ask you this, because this has become a hot topic in my community recently, where people feel like uh, leads who are moving into the area, and we need to now have them sign an exclusive agreement to work with us before we can show them any houses. And people still feel kind of squeamish about having that conversation. How do you handle it? Like when somebody first contacts you and they say, I'm coming to town next week and I want to go see houses, how do you have that whole conversation with them?
That's a really good question. Even that's still an ongoing challenge, to be honest. But yeah, it's I fine-tuned it a lot over the years, and I just don't get scared with bringing the topic up, because I would get scared initially because I would think that that's how I would lose a client. But actually, that's what weeds out who's serious and who's not. So I kind of I see it as like you got two categories of relocators. The ones that call you who say they're going to come visit Atlanta, they've never been. This is their first time they're coming, and they're just looking around the area. They always say, we're gonna check out the area." So then those are the ones that aren't actually buying. They're just wanting to get to know the area. And in some cases, they haven't even decided Atlanta is going to be their home yet. They didn't tell you until later, oh, we're touring Tampa, Florida, and Charlotte, North Carolina, and Nashville, Tennessee, too. And we're going to make narrow it down to one. Then you got others that come, they've done their research, they know, maybe they've visited in the past, maybe they have family in the area. They're ready from the get-go. And then you got kind of like a third category where it's like the ones from the first category, they came to visit, they finally made a decision, so they come a second time. Well, if it's those clients on the first trip, I say, "Hey, be more than happy to meet you in my office." I give them my office address. Let's schedule a day and a time so we make it specific, see each other face to face because that changes everything. You build rapport. They always say people go with the first agent they meet, and so kind of like a Zillow buyer where you met them at the house, which was always very painful, a lot of tire kickers, and just it wasn't that was not a fun process. Whereas this, you meet them in the office, they already know you, they've already trusted you, and then you say, "Hey, look, well, hey, we can go see some houses today if you'd like. I just need to have a pre-approval letter and a buyer agreement signed, and we can get the process started." And then some of them right there, they kind of just they say, "Well, Tim, we're not really looking ready to move yet. Maybe 6 to 12 months out. But this has been good, and we're definitely going to work with you." And they do. Later on, they end up signing, and they do. But at least them knowing the process and then bringing it up to kind of it reveals more of their intentions if your questions at the beginning were not enough to help save you the time and the stress. So, yeah.
I agree. I feel like if they say, like this just happened to me a couple of weeks ago, she said, I'm looking at Charleston, I'm looking at Myrtle Beach, and I'm looking at Savannah. And so I'm going to come to town next week. And I'll say, well, that's awesome. Why don't we get together and we'll meet for half an hour or so? We'll get to know each other a little bit, but I'm not going to show you houses because you don't even know if you want to move here yet. I want you to drive around and see if you like it. I want you to go to the beach. I want you to go downtown to this historic district. I want you to go drive around and see if you like the area because finding the house is a given. Like we got a
Right.
million houses here. You're going to
Yeah.
find a house that you like. And you're not ready to pull the trigger on anything. So to tell the seller you got to clean like a crazy person and then leave the house and take the kids and the dog. And 2 hours later, they come back and they find out that you were never going to write an offer on that house
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. Yeah.
People don't
Yeah.
appreciate that. So, what I want you to do is just explore the area and I'll tell you where to go. I'll give you a whole list of all my favorite things to go see. If you decide Savannah is the place, then the next time you come, we'll actually look at houses. But right now, we're just a little bit too early for that. And
Hmm.
then if they are a little bit more ready, I give them the whole buyer presentation and I show them
Hmm.
this is how I'm
Yeah.
going to help you. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to help you find a house when you can't come here every weekend and look at houses.
Hmm.
And then I pitched the buyer brokerage agreement. And so, just like you said, you weed out the people that are not serious. If they don't want to sign that document, awesome. You just saved me 3 Saturdays of dragging you around town where you were never going to buy a house anyway.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
am totally okay with that.
I don't know if you ran into this fear in the back of your mind, but at the beginning of my YouTube channel, I was like, desperate to just work with everybody. So I
Oh yeah.
was showing them houses.
Yes.
And then one of the fears was that, like, well, if I don't, that they will call somebody who will, and then they'll end up working with them. But then I started to think two things. One, if I build my YouTube channel big enough where the lead flow is so enormous, it won't matter. And number two is that if they called you to begin with and they valued your content online, then there's a good chance that they are going to come back to you and not go with somebody else because they see that you know how to operate your own business. They see that you respect your own time, your own family. And again, they called you because of your content. So it's like, well, we're going to come back. We got to go with Tim because he understands the North Metro Atlanta market. So that has helped kind of reassure myself and know that like, yeah, it's gonna work out one way or the other. So
Yeah, 100%. When I was newly licensed, I lived in California. I never pitched the buyer brokerage agreement because what if they said no? Like, what if they wouldn't sign it? And so I
Mhm.
can't even tell you how many times I took people out showing them houses weekend after weekend after weekend. They were not pre approved. And then I found out that they couldn't buy anything,
Yeah,
let alone a $400,000 house. And it was all just my fear of even having the conversation. After I started the YouTube channel and my phone started ringing like crazy, you had the thought of if I build the channel, then it won't matter. I never even had the thought. The thought for me was, I don't, I am working like crazy. I don't have time. I don't have time to take people out who are not serious. And quite frankly, if they're not serious, that's fine. They can go work with somebody else. It became just a matter of protecting my time. Like I can't be in the car for 10 hours a day with someone who's not committed to working with me exclusively. So
totally.
after I saw that I was so busy, it became very easy to have that conversation. And it was like, man, I wish I would have had the guts to do this 10 years ago to
Right.
say, you found me from my YouTube channel, right? Well, so did a lot of other people. I am super, super busy right now. And I love working with out of town buyers. But because my time is so limited, I only work with people who are like ready to go. We are
Yeah.
100% we're
Yeah.
moving here. We are ready to do this now. I am willing to get pre approved and I'm going to start looking at houses with you and not, just going around town, going to open houses on my own. If
Yeah.
you're ready to do that, let's do it. And the very, very few people who said no, okay. But I mean, I'm talking out of hundreds of conversations that we had, I think there were
Yeah.
like two or three
It's a small
people
percentage.
that
Yeah.
said no. It was such a small group of people.
Totally. Totally.
Yeah. Okay, now I want to ask you about the video that you did recently that has gone viral because I just looked at it was like, what?
Well, it's
82,000 views and it's only a month old? What is that video like?
well, crazy thing is, so I was saying I hired a marketer 3 months ago, but I'm still doing my own videos. So this is actually one that I did for myself. And it was just a topic that I think resonates with a lot of people. There's a lot of people that don't like HOAs.
Yes.
And this video was about a new law that had passed and was, I guess, kind of put a little bit more restrictions on HOA. And, you can get into politics of like, government restriction or not. Maybe this is one that was perhaps a good thing overall. And people were happy to see it. And I think it was just that thumbnail that and the title that really caught people's attention. It's funny because I do or did this stuff in your class on how to research keyword search with the keyword widget app in
Right.
Google Chrome. Still have that, still use it, and then trying to find out the number of views and with the lowest amount of competition and set those parameters. And but now with like you're saying, Chat GPT, we use it every day. And there's like debates about like, okay, don't use it or do use it when it comes to like creating your own titles. Well, I want to just say it straight up. I created the thumbnail and the title all with ChatGPT. And so, like, if people are saying it doesn't work, no, it does work. And you could just tell them, like, tell ChatGPT, here's the topic, here's the link to the article. I found it on Bigger Pockets. It's funny, I wasn't even actively searching this news about Georgia. It just popped up on my email feed that I've subscribed to Bigger Pockets, which is the like the biggest like real estate investment podcast known to man. And it was like, oh, okay, I have to do this because I live in Georgia. And I told ChatGPT, okay, here's the topic, here's the article. Please give me 10 of the most clickable titles you can give me. And it came up with 10. And this one stood out to me. And it captures everything that a person wants. Like, okay, I want to buy a house. Yes. Okay, buying in Atlanta. This new HOA law changes everything. Okay, everything. That's a big deal. Not just like something, everything. And it's new and it's about HOA. So, and then I kind of use a variation to that with the thumbnail and just said change the rules. And it just took off like crazy. And it was a pretty basic video. I just went over summarizing the key points of the article that I read. So, like, again, people are thinking like it has to be something fancy. You need a whole lot of B-roll. B-roll is important. B-roll can really add to the viewing time that can push it out with the algorithm. But sometimes on occasion, you'll just get a topic that like everybody wants to hear. Would that something that will affect them? Whatever is a pain point for them that can actually it will affect their lives. They want to know something to be aware of. I was getting phone calls from people, and there's one lady that called. I missed her call. She left a voicemail, and she's like, "Tim, I saw this something about the new HOA law changed, and can you give me a call back?" There's people that were calling that they weren't really looking to buy, and one lady was like, um, yeah, I'm in an HOA community right now, and they're not answering my requests about modifying the outside of my home, and they just like basically just went AWOL. And what do I do? How do I reach out to them? So I became like this unofficial counselor for her. And but then and then other people that were looking to buy, they did call. But most of them are like, they're on the nurture category, but that's, you're going to get a combination of people are ready now and in the future, but it enhanced the channel a lot. And you probably noticed this if you look at YouTube analytics, like when you have one video that goes really well, it boosts the entire channel as a whole.
Yes.
So I was getting views from the other videos that were increasing by the day while that one was going viral.
So even though this one was bringing all of the new eyeballs to the channel, it was lifting all of the other videos as well. That's
Right.
just so cool. And I love that you made the whole thumbnail with Chat GPT. I've been doing a lot with that myself too. They Chat GPT has a very distinct style. Like it loves this brushstroke, the yellow paint brushstroke. Either yellow or red seem to be its two favorite colors. And
Yeah, I
so
noticed
I
too.
can always tell when ChatGPT made the design. But when it comes back with that, you can always respond back and say, don't make it yellow, make it green. Don't use the brush stroke behind it. Do a solid block. You can give it whatever instructions you want just to try to make it look a little bit more different, if you will. But I love
Totally.
how the photo of you in the picture looks like you. It does not look
Mhm.
like an airbrushed photoshopped version of you. Did you upload that photo
I
yourself?
did.
Okay.
That was the only thing that I uploaded. I just said, take this headshot of me and add it to a thumbnail that will resonate with buyers about the new HOA law change. And
Okay.
so that was the only part that I added. And yeah, like you said, it kept it pretty much the same and just
Yeah.
kind of put that little highlight
So
and
awesome. I
yeah.
know what you're talking about because I had to go to a CE class probably about 2 or 3 months ago now. And it was all about community associations. And when they were talking about that law, I was like, what? Okay, I need to make a video on this topic too. So
Right,
I'm so
right.
glad that it has worked so well. Just,
Yeah. Hey,
ah,
well, thanks to you, Karen, because that was when I first started. Like again, I took your class in 2020 into 2021, and I got a lot of helpful tips up front, and I implemented them. And there's so many resources out there now, but it boils down to the main one thing that it's no secret sauce. It's just being consistent. That's the key. It's just being consistent. And a lot of people think like, what is the secret sauce to doing YouTube? And there are ways to help. generate business and to grow your channel. But the number one thing is consistency. And so that's always on us to do. Not, and I would say like, okay, does every agent need to do YouTube to succeed? No, but is it one of the best forms? I would say yes. And then this is the part where I've gone back and forth. Do you think, I'm going to challenge you with the question. Do you think that every agent should do YouTube? Knowing their personalities, everybody's got different strengths and weaknesses. Should they all be doing it? Because
No,
I've
I
gone
think
back and
you
forth
need
on
to decide what is your favorite platform? Where do you enjoy consuming content? Where do you enjoy making content? For me, it's YouTube.
it.
I don't
Yeah.
like Instagram. I'm never on Instagram. If you send me a DM on Instagram, I won't see it for 3 months because I just don't go on there. So why would I make that my dominant platform? I just don't like it. I'm on
Mm,
YouTube every single day consuming content. So for me, I like it. I also like the fact that you can get really good results with one post a week
yeah.
versus I don't want to do 5 stories a day. I don't want to do 3 reels a day. I don't want to
Mm,
be posting all day, every day on these platforms because I sell real estate. I want to make one and post it and like schedule it to go out and then be done with it.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just my personality. But if somebody else feels the same way, where they feel like they are on a hamster wheel of engagement by being on social media, to me,
Mm,
that's the benefit of being on YouTube, is it's not really the social hamster wheel of somebody writes a comment, I got immediately reply. They reply back, I got immediately reply. The more we stay there talking back and forth, the more it gets boosted in the news feed. That's not really how YouTube works because you can
mhm.
get a comment on a video that's 5 years old and you can respond to it. It's great, but that's not what like boosts it up to the top of the news feed again.
Mm,
So it's, I don't know, it just works well for the amount of time and effort that I care to put in, the amount
mm.
of time and effort that I want to be on the platform on a daily basis without it taking over my entire life.
Yeah. Yeah. I resonate with all
Yeah.
of that.
Well, I am so happy for you when, and the reason that Tim and I connected again was because he sent me a referral. Thank you very much. And as we
Yeah. You're
started
welcome.
talking, I was like, so how's your channel doing? Tell me all about it. He said, you're not even going to believe that somehow I've become the go to guy for the Korean community, which I thought was so interesting. I just wanted to hear more about that. But congratulations on all your success. I think it's amazing
Appreciate it.
and
Yeah.
good for you.
Yeah. If other agents are watching this and they have somebody move to Atlanta, I'll be happy to take on the referral too. So
There you go. I will make sure that we put all your contact information down below. And for those
awesome.
of you that are thinking about YouTube and you feel like Tim did at the very beginning, where you were too much of a perfectionist, listen, we just got to get over ourselves. Just get out
Mm,
there, put it out there, knowing that it's a good, solid B minus at best. It's good enough. Good enough is good enough to get started. And the
yeah.
more you do it, the better you'll get over time.
It's like Tom Ferry said, done is better than perfect.
Done is better than perfect. One of my all-time favorite sayings.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks, Tim. I'll put all your
Yeah.
contact information down below. Send him your referrals
Yeah.
and go make some videos, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you, Karen. Thank you for having me.